Blue Moon is a small feature of Richard Linklater's, came out last year. We missed it. Excited to talk about it now. This stars Ethan Hawke in an award-nominated performance as Lorenz Hart, who is effectively a washed-up musician. The movie opens the night of his musical opening, Oklahoma, which you might have heard of, very popular musical. He leaves thinking this show is terrible and I don't like it at all, and heads to Sardi's, his local bar, where all of the critics are going to be arriving in just an hour or so when the play is over, along with his musician co-writer, Rogers. God, I cannot remember my man's first name.
Richard Rogers.
Richard Rogers, played by Andrew Scott. We arrive at the bar, and that is where we hang out for the whole movie. Ethan Hawke plays Lorenz Hart, like I said at the top, who is a very eccentric man, stands at only 5 foot tall, hilariously movie magicked into being short. Ethan Hawke is 5'10" in reality. A lot of good sight gags at short Lorenz Hart. Who is hanging out with his local bartender, Bobby Canavale, talking about his career, reflecting on his past, what's next, and, of course, this very exciting young college girl who's just come in, played by Margaret Qualley, who he has had a little bit of an interest with in the past, is hoping tonight might be the night that he and her seal the lovely deal, I guess. If the play goes good and the critics are nice and things with Rogers work out, maybe things will work out for Lorenz Hart. Maybe not. The movie is Blue Moon. Andy, what'd you think?
So I struggled a little bit with this movie, but it grew on me the longer it went. And just to clarify a little bit of things about the plot. So Lorenz Hart had worked with Richard Rogers for 25 years. They worked really well together, had written a lot of classic songs, but had kind of had a falling out because of Hart's, basically his substance abuse and how he worked. He would drink a lot, would party a lot, stay out all night, hard to work. A man, very talented man, hard to work with. He did not write Oklahoma, and he's not part of Oklahoma, but he's there. He's part of the community, and it's a bit of a Star is Born situation where his star is falling as Richard Rogers has just had his big hit with Oscar Hammerstein. Rogers and Hammerstein, of course, would go on to become a household name. So he's kind of seen his career coming to an end. Possibly he's seen his student surpass him, and it's a real tough pill to swallow. But there's hope. They just might, there's hope that he might patch things up. That he has this idea for this incredible new musical, this Marco Polo thing. It's going to be bold. It's not going to be, he's kind of criticizing Oklahoma for being audience slop, what we would call today. It's a crowd pleaser. It's simple. It's funny, but it's a huge hit. It's a massive hit, and he's struggling with this. And he's kind of his own worst enemy. He's like I said, very difficult to work with. The substance abuse, and basically everyone has moved on without him because of this, and he just kind of can't swallow his pride and can't change his ways to recover. And Ethan Hawke does an incredible job. When I saw that he was nominated, I kind of rolled my eyes and I was like, well, he's kind of an institution. And then I saw it and I was like, no, he might be doing the best work of any of the nominees, but because this is a small movie, he's probably not winning. But incredible performance by him.
Yeah, somebody said once that Richard Linklater makes a great hangout movie. Right, it's a movie you just wish you could hang out in. And that's exactly where Blue Moon is. Like, we were just hanging out at this bar the whole movie, like with Lorenz Hart, who is a man, everybody calls him Larry, who is a well-meaning guy, but is very odd and does not fit into society like other people think. He's a little not the most attractive man to look at. He's got a pretty poor hairline, pretty bad comb over. Like I said, he's a short guy. I got a high-pitched voice. People get funny reads on his sexuality. They can't tell which way he kind of leans. He's got, which by the way is aired out very early in the movie. It's nice. We get to hang out with him for like 90 minutes. We just get to hang out with this guy. And I think that's divisive. It's a dialogue heavy script. It's character heavy for sure. A lot like Linklater's picks. But I think if you don't like Hart, if you don't like what Ethan Hawke, who his character is in this movie, I think you're going to have a terrible time. But I think like a few of the patrons at the bar who kind of warm up to him over the course of the film, as you kind of get pulled in, you kind of get tugged under the spell of what Hawke is doing in here. And the script is like a lofty script talking about, great playwrights and great art and culture and what it means to really make something meaningful versus like just popular with other people. An interesting reflection of the moment, actually, which we just talked about. I fell into it. I fell into what was going on here. Like, I fell into the character and I liked what was happening. ended up having a good time. I think it's hurt because it doesn't physically go anywhere. Like you are kind of trapped at Sardi's for sure. Like you move around in there a bit. You get a couple settings. I think it's a 2-story bar. You scene in a coat room later. But for the most part, that's the movie. And I think that combined with Linklater's other film last year, Nouvelle Vogue, very strange, very niche, I think just keeps a lot of modern audiences just a bit out in the cold. Like they just don't get what's happening in here.
Yeah, like I said, I struggled with the first act because it's basically just him chatting with the bartender played by Bobby Canavale. And he's just kind of musing about life and Oklahoma and writing musicals. And he carries the entire movie. He is in every single scene. End of Act 1 is when the party after Oklahoma arrives, and that's when Richard Rodgers arrives, Hammerstein,
Oscar
a bunch of other people. Yeah. Margaret Qualley's Elizabeth Wayland. We meet her briefly. She gets a bigger moment in Act 3. So to me, the longer it goes, the more it reveals, and it reveals more about their situation, like his very kind of difficult relationship with Richard Rodgers now that's very strained, and of course he wrote some amazing tunes that are staples of like jazz and early musical American theater. But now again, he's kind of on his way out. He's being forgotten because he's just too hard to work with, and he doesn't want to do what's popular. And again, he's his own worst enemy.
It's a funny movie that couches itself in a funny place and time, because when you start the movie, you assumedly don't know anything about them, and you get a scene pretty much right at the beginning of the movie that gives you a title card and a bit of history over a kind of harrowing setting for one of our characters, right before the movie slides into kind of where we are now at the bar at Oklahoma, and then we head into the bar. And that gives you just a bit of cushion to let you know that, like you said, this is a bit of a Star is Born thing. Rodgers and Hammerstein are well known all over the world. Nobody remembers Rodgers and Hart. Like Hart just kind of got lost in the dust. He wrote some features for sure, but nothing big. And so over the course of the movie, as we learn more about him, we learn more about his career. We also get pulled in on this journey with Hart because Hart is on the come up, hopefully, right? The pitch is that, hey, I've got a party happening at my house in like 2 hours. You should come by, which is weird because you'd think somebody having a party at their house would probably be busy planning the party. But Hart says he's got one, and Bobby Cannavale, his bartender, kind of believes it. He has kicked drinking, right? He was having substance abuse problems, like Andy mentioned, but he's now kind of over it. And very early in the movie, he says, hey, can you fix a shot and put it in front of me? And I'm just going to look at it, right? I'm not going to drink it. I'm just going to look at it. Hey, I've got this girl coming by that I met. You're going to love her. She's a blonde bombshell, right? She's going to be great. She'll be here in an hour. The movie sets all these little breadcrumbs up for you to follow down these sort of trails. And like over 90 minutes hanging out and getting to know Lorenzo Hart and Hawke's really illustrious performance is a delight. Looking forward to Qualley coming in and seeing where that's going to go. You know, finding out a little bit more about this author character who's hanging out in the booth just behind Hart, who he swears he's read before but can't say when. That stuff pulls me in. I had a great time with this. It was a movie. I fixed a beverage while I was watching, so it was nice just kind of sit at the bar and sip with them a little bit. Like, I had a good time. Regarding performances, Hawke is tremendous. I think you're right. It's probably one of the best of the year. It's probably one of the best of his career. I can't believe how good he is in this. Qualley is like fine and isn't in the movie much. She looks like she's playing really young. I remember early in the movie they said she was like 20, and I think later she dispels that or something. They explain that no, she's not actually 20 years old. That would be a stretch. Andrew Scott as Rodgers is not great. He's the one that I was like, ooh, linchpin performance. There's only like 3 or 4 big ones in here, and he can barely hide the accent. He's fine. He's really stiff. And he seems to really believe that, like, hey, what the public thinks is what's going to be great. And Lorenzo Hart is on the opposite side of that. No. Like, what you think is going to be great is what's going to be great because you're an artist, you know, and has this, like, funny sense of resolve. Meanwhile, the two of them, like I said, really, really funny movie magic, height magic in there. Lorenzo Hart is 5 foot tall. All of Ethan Hawke's clothes are, like, sized up. He's constantly framed low with, like, a lot of headroom above him. And then when him and Rodgers are together, Rodgers is like 3 or 4 inches taller than him, even though in reality, Andrew Scott's 5'8" and Hawke is 5'10". So that is all movie magic. Like, and it works great. Like all as a punchline often he's framed shorter than Qualley. Like I don't know. There's something in here going on with Linklater that I really like, but it is a bottle feature for sure.
Yeah, I was gonna say Margaret Qualley's character. It's a bit of a reflection of the situation. Lorenz Hart, he is hoping on a lot of potential with her. He's hoping that they're going to be a thing, an item, and we know from the beginning that's not going to happen. And we watch this whole thing. We would just watch multiple opportunities just sort of slip through his fingers, and it's largely his own fault, his own doing, and it's a metaphor for a lot of those things. I didn't mind Andrew Scott. I thought he's great as kind of this. He's someone who's he's not charmed by Hart anymore. He's kind of had enough of him. He's like, he just wants to talk business because he's like, maybe we could do a revival of one of our old things. You can write some new songs. And Hart just wants to talk about Marco Polo and this new thing. And he's like, no, I'm not really interested in that. And he keeps pushing it. And they both push each other. They're like, no, I don't like that idea. No, I don't like your idea. But Rogers is he's the golden boy now, and he has the upper hand in this.
You're right. They do have an awkward kind of first encounter at the bar when Rogers shows up, and like all these critics come in after him. Oh my God, you're amazing. And Hart like sucks up. All right, I better go play the part, right? And like they kind of have an awkward encounter, but then like they meet on a stairwell and they have a bit of a soft one. And yeah, Rogers tells him, hey, you know what? Like I wouldn't be who I am without you. Like you have brought me so much, Larry, and I'm going to love you forever for sure. But then he goes a little too far and he says to them, I'll go home, and they just start to twist and they get into this sort of argument together. Like it's a real great scene. Like, and the two of them play across each other well. I just thought, I don't know. I just kept, I don't know, something about Scott, but I like him fine. I don't know. Who is this movie for? Like theater
it's
fans?
Definitely for cinema. Yeah. It's for cinema heads.
Yeah, it's an indulgent. It's
an
indulgent sort of movie. I think a lot like Nouvelle Vogue. Like Linklater is like, in 2025, I'm making movies for me. Like I'm making stuff that I want to watch. I don't care if you're interested or not. Like I'm making the stuff that I like, and I think it's a cool sort of movie. It's small, and I like that. Like, it would have been easy for the movie to set up Lorenzo Hart getting crushed in Act 3 by the young blonde bombshell who doesn't actually want him in the way he thinks. But that's not it, because when they actually get together, like turns out he's not just trying to sleep with her. Like he genuinely sees her as this sort of like window into a world, a perspective that he can't really get to. She tells this great story about this guy that she's crazy about, and he is totally enraptured by it. They're just leaning all the way in. Hawke loves it, like he's chewing the scenery. Like, I don't know. There's some magic happening in Blue Moon. It's subtle. It doesn't move around a lot, but it's there. And I think it works because of Hawke. Like, really. And yeah. Anyway, I'm running out of good things to say. Anything else on this one?
I think I'm ready.
Andy, would you recommend Blue Moon?
I'd recommend it to cinema fans. If you're a fan, if you've been keeping up with the Oscars, the Oscar nominations, an independent film, you're down for it. Like an acting masterclass, I think it's definitely for you. Mainstream audiences, I think, would struggle with this a little bit. It's a little slow in the beginning. It takes place all in one place. It's almost like a stage play in a lot of ways. But I think the performances are really good. This kind of Star is Born situation, you're seeing someone fail, their star fall while someone else is rising, is really interesting. A lot of like lessons of how someone can be their own worst enemy. So recommended for cinema fans.
Yeah, I like Blue Moon. I think you should check it out. It's odd, and it's oddly shaped, and it's a bottle movie, and it doesn't really go to a bunch of big illustrious settings or anything, but it's really, really great performances, and it's a great hangout movie. It's a great like kick back late at night. If this was on TV at 1 a.m, I'd throw it on and watch it. You know what I mean? Like, just it's good. It's small. It's humble. Check out Blue Moon. And man, that's Off Script, episode 325. Come and gone, done and dusted. What are we watching next week, Andy?
So we're going to be taking a look at Wuthering Heights. It's finally here, the new Emerald Fennell film, her adaptation of Wuthering Heights, starring Jacob Elordi.